This is a 1960 Triumph TR3A in pale yellow. It's a straight 4-cylinder, 100 horsepower engine and does 0 to 60 in 12 seconds. It sits 5 inches off the ground and is only 46 inches tall. This is a fun car to drive. Veronica and her husband Kevin are from Louisiana and moved to the Triangle to be closer to family. This is one of the many reasons why people call me when they move to Raleigh, Durham. I'm Justin Burleson, and this is Relocators Riding with Realtors in the Triangle.
You're looking for a place in DC, and what made you decide to start looking here in the Triangle if you were so set on DC?
Yeah, so, originally, we lived in New Orleans. We lived in New Orleans for like 7 years. We loved it there. But my dad, who still lives in Southern Virginia, which is where I grew up, my dad was ill, and so we decided that we wanted to be a little bit closer to family. I'm the oldest. I have a little brother, but as adorable and wonderful as he is, he's like 23 and kind of useless. So we were like, okay.
This is on video, by the way.
It's fine. He knows it. So we were like, oh, we should definitely, try and move closer to home, to be closer to my dad. And so we were like, all right, we're not moving back to Southern Virginia because it's a miserable place.
Yeah.
Let's try and be within like 3 to 4 hours driving distance, So we looked at Baltimore. That's where Kevin went to college. He loved Baltimore. We looked at DC. That's where I went to grad school. I really love DC. But both places, I think we both felt like cost of living was really high. Baltimore is a really fun city, but has some crime issues. DC is awesome, but like I said, just totally out of our price range. So we started reading a bunch of things about how the Triangle was like one of the top rated places for young professionals.
Yep.
And decided to give it a look-see. So we actually have some friends here, and so we visited one weekend and really loved it. So decided to look more seriously.
Yeah. So you decided to make the move here. There was an agent in DC that connected us.
Yeah. So we'd been looking at DC pretty intensely, and came down to visit some friends here in Raleigh, and that really sold it for us. So we actually decided to kind of shift our focus away from DC and more on the Triangle. And so I let the real estate agent know, and she said, oh, actually I know a guy. And that's when she put us in touch with you. And at the time we weren't really ready to buy. We wanted to get to know the area a little bit more,
right,
before really investing and buying a house.
Right.
But yeah, I think that was really important, and something that I think also spoke to like your character and what kind of realtor you are. I feel like a lot of realtors perhaps wouldn't necessarily be worth their time to really help someone find a rental property.
Right.
And we really appreciated that you were so willing to help, and that it didn't seem like it was just a bother to you, right? You really took your time to try and like help us out and checked in on us a couple of times.
Sure.
So that really stuck with us, and was part of the reason why we decided when we were ready to buy a house that we would contact you again.
Well, I knew I was your only friend in town, so I had to check in.
Yeah, it's true, and we were desperate. We didn't know anybody else, so what could we do?
Yeah, that's how I get a lot of my friends. It's through desperation. So.
Friends of circumstance. Those are the best kinds of friends.
So once you had been in the area for a while, and we looked at different places to potentially live, we started looking in Cary and Northwest Raleigh.
Yeah. So we wanted to be not too far out in the suburbs. We wanted to be somewhat close to the center of the city and close to downtown. So we were looking at Northwest Raleigh originally, and all the houses that we saw were really lovely, but none of them just quite fit, I think.
Yeah.
And so, I think kind of on a whim, even though we had said we want to look at Cary and Northwest Raleigh, you had sent us a house that was over in Southwest. And we were like, oh, wow, we really like that house. I don't think we even realized that area existed, to be quite honest.
Right.
It wasn't necessarily a part of the city that we had really visited very often. And so it was really exciting to realize that we could live that close to downtown and it be within our price range.
Yep.
And I don't think that would have ever been on our radar otherwise.
Right. Let's talk about the house that you ended up choosing.
Yeah.
What were you looking for, and did you find it?
Yeah, so Kevin and I were looking for a house that we could grow into. I think, soon-ish we'd like to start a family, and so definitely wanted to not have to move a million times. So definitely wanted a house that we could grow into. Wanted something that was not too far out into the suburbs, but still was in an area that was family friendly. We were looking for a place with a great kitchen. Kevin and I both are big foodies, and by that I mean he's a really great cook and I like to eat his cooking. So it was really important that we had a cool kitchen that we both felt comfortable in. We both really like hosting things. We have an annual Friendsgiving that we do that people come to from all over, and we like hosting game nights and dinner parties, and so we wanted a nice open layout that had a lot of room for entertaining. So those were some of the big ones that we were looking for, and I think we sort of felt like we would have to give up some of those things in exchange for others,
Right.
Especially the part about being near downtown. But that was sort of the beauty of this particular house. It's a 15-minute drive from downtown. It's a pretty big house. We have plenty of space to grow into as we grow older.
Yeah. It's pretty new, so it has the open floor plan.
Yeah, it's got the beautiful floor plan, the open floor plan. It's got an office, which is awesome, especially since I'm going to be working remotely now. I think we got all of our items checked off the list.
You said that you were a first-time home buyer, but
Yep.
Kevin had bought a condo before. What were some of the things that I did that might have been a little different, or about the home buying process in general that was eye-opening or interesting for you?
Kevin has a background in mechanical engineering. He wants to know how everything works.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to know all the details. I sort of generally want to know how things work, but not in the same way.
Right.
So it was really great because I felt like you did a good job of handling both of us. You could tell me oh yeah, this is a house that was built in the 80s that has this thing that you may have to replace. All right, good enough for me. With Kevin, I think he was crawling underneath the house with you.
That's one of my favorite things to do is go up underneath the houses and look at all the parts and pieces that nobody really thinks about. Because you don't really want to get into a contract on a house without tearing it apart as much as possible before you do it. Because you're paying money to get into a contract.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had never bought a house before, but Kevin had, right? He had bought a condo in New Orleans. So he was saying that when he was buying his condo, he had a real estate agent. Real estate agent seemed nice enough, but very clearly was ready to have him buy the house and move on with life. And but he just thought that was pretty typical, that was normal.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until we met you and you were so patient and thorough that he was like, gosh, they were really shitty.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
Yeah.
It's one thing to sort of watch HGTV and think you know what you want versus actually like seeing it in person and then, you know, thinking about actually investing in it.
Right.
So having you be patient with us while we kind of figure that out for ourselves, and then also explaining things as we went along. Yeah, it was a really pleasant experience.
HGTV is both a really good blessing and the bane of all realtors' existence, because everybody thinks things can be done in a 30-minute time frame with commercials for under budget and with little headache. Doesn't quite work out that way.
No, not so much. You could be one of the property brothers. I feel like you look a little bit like you belong in that family.
Well, I've always enjoyed the investing and the renovation aspect of real estate. So give me the stats on the house, or give everybody here the stats of the house. 3-bedroom plus an office.
Yep, 3 bedrooms plus an office, 2.5 bath. I believe it's about 2,300 square feet. All the bedrooms are upstairs, so downstairs we have a really nice open floor plan. Have a cute little yard, you know, like enough to need a lawnmower, but not enough to need a riding lawnmower or a tractor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty cute house. It's in a neighborhood called Renaissance Park, which is just south of downtown, kind of borders Garner.
Yeah.
Not too far from anything. It's about 15 minutes from downtown, 15 minutes from Cary, it's a 5-minute drive from Garner. Lots of cute little shopping and stuff not too far away. So yeah, we really love it. It's a very easy place to live.
Is there any place in the New Orleans area or the Louisiana area in general for people who live there now that, you know, they haven't been to Raleigh, and they say, you can say downtown Raleigh or the Triangle area reminds me of this area in Louisiana or New Orleans?
You know, actually, I think that anyone who has like lived in New Orleans before, if you've ever gone down Magazine Street, I would say that downtown Raleigh, there are a lot of really cute places, little boutiques, little furniture stores, little, you know, like thrift shops and whatnot that remind me a lot of what it's like to go shopping down Magazine Street. So, you know, and a lot of really cute restaurants, but it's also kind of chill. It's not Bourbon Street, right? It's not,
Right.
you know, it's not crazy, but it's definitely not a sleepy downtown either. So I would definitely say, yeah, if you're familiar with New Orleans, I would say downtown Raleigh is a lot like kind of the best parts of Magazine.
Let's talk about restaurants. You know, you came from an area that obviously is known for Cajun Creole food. What have you found here that you especially like?
The food here is really great. I mean, the barbecue is top notch. I don't care what those people in Texas or you know, anywhere else think. North Carolina has definitely got the best barbecue in the country. I am definitely a vinegar kind of girl, so this is definitely the place to do that. But there's also a lot of other really great food too. I mean, you know, we really love Beat Amanda, which is this Laotian restaurant, sort of a, you know, in terms of cuisine, it's kind of a combination of like Vietnamese and Thai.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really delicious. On our first day in Raleigh, actually, when we were driving around. Kevin got a flat tire, and then it turned out actually
Kevin got a flat tire.
Kevin got a flat tire. I just want to be clear. It was Kevin's car. He did not take care of his tires like he was supposed to. Turned out not only did he have a flat, but several of his tires were bald. So it was time to get all of his tires replaced. So we decided to get an Uber and just like hang out downtown. So we grabbed an Uber, and the Uber guy mentioned that there was this restaurant, Beat Amanda, that was really good. So we told him, yeah, just drop us off there. That sounds great. We'll try it out. And we tried it, and it was amazing. I mean, it was so good, and I think it's still to this day our favorite restaurant in downtown. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, I feel like there are a lot of gyms like that in Raleigh. There's some awesome Mexican restaurants around. We've actually got a local haunt called Del Toro that's not too far from our house. I mean, we do Taco Tuesdays there a lot. Also a lot of like Taco Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. So, you know, we love that. I mean, there's another place called Biryani Express, which is out in Cary, which is this really adorable, like, kind of hole-in-the-wall Indian restaurant that is amazing. Then we've got this stuff called Gobi 65. It's the only time I ever eat cauliflower, you know, or any vegetable, really. It's awesome. I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of food around here, and yeah, anything that you could want, you could find. Love Ashley Christensen's restaurants.
Yes,
you know, she's got pools.
Right.
She's got a new place. I follow her on Instagram, so I was in the know way before anyone else that she's going to be opening up this pizza place next to pools called Poolside. Really excited about that. Love Stanley's. Yeah, I mean, the food here is great. I think we were really worried at first when we moved from New Orleans that maybe the food would be a little subpar, but that has not been the case, and we were really pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. So talk about the weather in New Orleans.
So in New Orleans, it is always hot and muggy, or it's like vaguely cold and rainy. So like 9 months out of the year, it's like living inside of a dirty sock, right? Like it is just gross. And there is no such thing as fall. Come like December, January, it just gets kind of cold and wet. So I really miss having 4 seasons because I had grown up in Southern Virginia, and my favorite season was autumn, and I love the leaves changing and kind of that crispness that you get in the air. So it's really nice to be back here in Raleigh and have that, right? Like
Right.
every season I feel like is fairly mild. If you want hot and sweaty, you get it for a few months in the summer. If you like a little bit of snow, you know, pretty much every year we get at least one dusting. There's a real fall, there's a real spring, so it's nice that there's actually, you know, real seasons here. I also like that there's geographical diversity.
Yeah.
So, you know, like we're driving up a hill now. That's incredible to me, right? Having lived in New Orleans for so long, and it's just totally flat and swampy. I remember when we first got here, we like were just walking around downtown, and I was so out of breath. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? Like I am sweating. I was gross. But it was nice, right? Because it just had been so long since I had actually like walked up a hill. So really, really love that, you know, it's kind of bucolic, right? Talk about an SAT word.
Yeah.
There's a lot of areas
As Justin
here.
looks up what bucolic looks like.
You know, not the city of Raleigh itself, but, you know, it doesn't take very long to get out of the city and like in an area that really is truly just kind of breathtakingly beautiful with the rolling hills and mountains in the background.
Memories.
Memories.
That was
guys.
Kevin's tire
That
shop.
was Kevin's tire shop. I take care of my tires, so, you know, they don't.
And now he
suddenly-
does too.
Yes.